What do you think are some of the barriers for companies who want to do the right thing?
Approaching people and figuring out what they need on their level is one of the biggest barriers, because people look at what they think people need instead of talking to them and finding out exactly what they need. We're just basically doing it to say that we do it, so that we can say, oh, okay, here's our diversity program, instead of really taking it serious and really designing it to do its purpose. Live it,
Right.
versus just giving it lip service.
I think a lot of nonprofits too are guilty, and it's basically about all the projects that have failed in the developing world with NGOs because they went in with this hero mentality. They'll go to rural India and say, oh, you need a water purification system, when in fact the women needed a better way to transport their materials.
That example is perfect when you're saying, okay, I had all great, I want these people to have water. But you're looking at it from the way that you receive water instead of looking at it from the way that they need to receive water. That's what the economic growth comes from. So that's like the steps that lead us from empathy to not assimilating but teaching, right, and designing and thinking of it from a different perspective, which then leads to the money coming in.
I've noticed that a lot of practitioners do not have cultural competency because they are focused on assimilating young people or assimilating new generations into old systems rather than empowering young people to build and kind of understand and construct new systems. We need to think about not only the constituency that we need to serve, but also the industry. Implementation should start from a conversation rather than a presumption around, like, what are the needs of those two communities?
So I work for a big tech company. We have a division called HCM, Human Capital Management, and so that's the area of the business where we think about gender bias and hiring the right kind of people. And my role actually in the company is to invest in early stage companies. And so what I'm seeing is a trend now where that's such a topic of conversation now that there are young entrepreneurs who are actually investing in measuring those issues. In the corporate world, until you measure it, it just doesn't change. But there is a trend now coming where these issues have been top of mind for so long that, and given that and all of the emphasis on data right now, there are systems that are coming out from some of the entrepreneurs that are going to allow us to measure how you talk to your employees, how you hire and how you promote different people within the organization.
If you look at it from a macro standpoint, you create customers that will be with you your whole life. And that's the real purpose of why you do those community-based things. It's not just to give it lip service.
How will you remix the future?